Hey, good afternoon. This is Jacqueline O'Neill, aka Jackie O. And I am a realtor here in Corpus Christi, Texas, and I work with my husband in Houston, Texas, buying and selling real estate. Now, we've been very, very busy and blessed, thankfully. It's hard to imagine in the midst of a pandemic and, anarchy that God could be so gracious to me, but I'm just grateful. So here, we've had a lot of deals lately, and it made us want to talk about this particular subject, which I have labeled Midnight Hour Madness. And why do I call it Midnight Hour Madness? Is because it's like those last minute, oh my goodness, what? Like, why are we not closing? What happened? And most midnight hour issues can be avoided, okay? And it's all about communicating with your lender, communicating with your realtor, okay? And I'm going to touch on a couple things. If you're buying a home, make sure you tell your lender every possible thing. Make sure you keep your realtor informed on every possible thing, whether or not they're asking questions. They should be. A seasoned realtor who has experience will be asking questions like, did you get your cash transferred, or do you have enough money here? Or, make sure you don't spend extra money on appliances or going shopping that's any different than your normal shopping patterns, or you can mess up your loan. They will be keeping in touch with your lender and making sure everything's okay. Talking to you about how your loan is structured, right? Recently, I had a deal where the buyers, we were ready to close, and the day of closing, the buyers got their closing statement. They weren't my buyers, they were other buyers. But it turns out that they had not specified to their lender that they did not want to escrow their taxes and insurance. Okay, and unless otherwise stated, most lenders will try to escrow your taxes and insurance. That means they save them and they pay them for you. Okay, so they'll collect your principal and interest, right? And then they're going to collect your taxes and insurance amount. Okay, so that they're protected. You're protected, and you know that all the money's collected and you're covered when the time comes. Because unfortunately, if people are left to pay their own taxes and insurance, a lot of them won't have enough money by the end of the year to pay them, and that creates a lot of problems. So that's why they do it that way. It's a protective measure for the buyer, and it's a protective measure for the lender. Okay, so what happened is the lender had sent all wired the money and sent all the documents, and were ready to close on time. Well, because that happened, the buyers didn't know that they were escrowing. They had to send back the wire and send back the documents. Okay, so number one, communicate. Number two, make sure you have your lender give you a clear breakdown of what your interest is, your monthly payments are, your closing costs, because another deal happened where the buyers were so surprised because their origination fees went from 0.5% to 2%, which took them from, a few $500 some dollars to $4,000. Okay, origination fees and points, discount points can be paid. Those are that's money you can pay up front to bring your interest rate down. Well, sometimes lenders will have specials where they'll give you the credit for those discount points, and you can get a better interest rate. Okay, and they won't charge you money for it. They have a special going on, but that offer may not last more than a day or a week. Okay, so if you talk to your lender on Tuesday and you were going to be given $500 off towards extra, a better rate or closing costs, and then let's say next week Tuesday it's $2,000 that you get off, or vice versa, right? So if you were originally thinking you were getting $2,000, but then you end up with $500, it can be really confusing. So you need to make sure you ask the right questions. And some people don't use realtors. One of the people I worked with recently didn't have a realtor, and so and they were buying a property I have. And the thing is, had they had a realtor that knew what they were doing, they would have helped them avoid these situations, okay? Once again, it's all about communication. Everything you think or do when you're buying or selling a home, make sure you talk to your realtor. If you're going to do an improvement, if you're going to change something, if you're going to, I don't know, if you don't pay your taxes, if you don't pay your mortgage, and you think, oh, I'm selling my house, I'm not going to pay it because I'm selling, and next thing we know, we have a default, right? You have to make sure you're in good communication with your realtor or your lender. Okay, another situation that happened was a buyer said, oh, well, I'm just going to get a power of attorney to sign for my spouse. Well, normally that could be okay, but when it comes to getting a mortgage, you can't just get a power of attorney to a specific power of attorney to sign the mortgage docs like at closing. You have to actually have your entire loan package prepared to be signed by the power of attorney for that. Okay, so if you're planning to sign power of attorney because your spouse is out of town or they're busy or this or that, you need to make sure you let your lender know and give them that specific power of attorney so that the day of closing, all the documents are prepared properly. Okay, so the point to take away would be just be sure to be an open book. I had it once where my buyers were buying a house and the seller's agent said, well, you can do these repairs and you can get this done, it will be paid at closing, but if you guys can't close, then we don't have the money to pay for the foundation repair. And I said, we're closing, we're solid, we're clear to go. He said, okay, do the repairs. Well, lo and behold, we're a week or so out before closing, and we got a call from the listing agent saying, well, the seller can't close because he owes $65,000 to, like, I don't know, a former spouse or something, and he doesn't have money to close. And so basically, his seller couldn't close, and we had already ordered a $7,500 foundation repair. The realtor and I took care of it, but make sure you know what's going on with your seller. Make sure you know what's going on with your buyer. Ask a lot of questions and make sure you make it very clear to both buyers and sellers. You need to communicate to me anything and everything that's going on. If something breaks, something leaks, something's going on, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you need to tell me. Okay, if you've done something, some repairs or this or that recently or in the past, you need to tell me. We need to disclose it. Because if they find out after the fact, then you will be sued. I may get sued too, but I didn't know about it, obviously. So anyway, just a heads up, communication. Have a good day.